So, new Star Citizen video, folks. Welcome to the channel, and as always, keeping you updated on the latest events that we have going on here. Look, I'm completely honest with this. I don't see a whole lot to be super excited about in 3.23, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, I like the idea of creatures. I heard somewhere there that we will have some like creature hunting mission. How good will those be or not? We will just have to wait and see. But man, I was talking with someone in Global about how in the last couple years, what is it that you've done really new? Like this person said, well, salvaging. Okay, it's not exactly ship munching. It's more like a hammerhead disappearing. Man, I mean, for me, new real content would be a new system, new planets. I will even take new cities to explore with real interaction. There's really not a whole lot that we've had in the last couple years, and a lot of people are saying that 3.23 will be their biggest patch ever. I just don't see it, but trying to keep it positive, I just saw this new video inside Star Citizen Maps and Apps, and this is what we're looking forward in 3.23. Let's check it out.
Never sat in this one before. As Alpha 3.23 continues its journey towards becoming Star Citizen's biggest life in the verse as we know it patch yet,
no, it's not.
we know lots of folks have patiently waited to see one thing above all others, the missed Raptor. What?
The little ship, the Fool's Day thing, that was actually quite cool. I mean, of all the stupid things we have going on, that would be like, okay, you want to go cleaning a little bit? Maybe? If it's a little ship you can buy in game and do something different?
The Mobiglass and Star map app. The Mobiglass and newly christened map app.
Map app, okay.
Arrival complete. Welcome.
So the Mobiglass is getting a massive visual overhaul for 3.23.
The version everyone's been living with for years is it kind of does the job, but you can see it's dated.
It's a massive overhaul. You're changing the Mobiglass? Okay.
Now.
So the entire Mobiglass is overhauled from what it was before. It's using a new technology that we've built called cards, and we use cards for other UIs throughout the game. For the Mobiglass, it was a big task to convert because it has a lot of apps in it as well. So we need to convert all of those apps over to the new tech in order for the entire thing to be able to release.
Those buzzwords, oh, we're working on new tech. It is another fucking sking on the thing that's already there.
So in 3.23, we've got a really big improvement to the user experience. Everything's designed to look nicer and feel nicer.
Ready to upgrade.
And sadly, we haven't really had all the time we needed to get all the apps there. So you are going to recognize the VMA and the Comms app just as they have always been. With that package, you're getting all...
So it's a complete overhaul, but not really. There's a lot of this, the same thing. And even if it was completely different, who gives a flying fuck about the Mobiglass? Really? That's the biggest concern? That's what we were really missing?
All the other apps with a visual update and also functionality updates for some of them.
You've got a completely updated home screen, so you can do things like view your ship, you can see your health, notifications, kind of the information you really need to see now.
We saw it already.
So we're also getting a fully new health app where you can see all the things that's currently affecting your health and all the stats that you would normally see on your HUD.
Over time, we've added all these cool new things that can affect the player. So we're going to have things like radiation. We've got existing stuff like you can break bones. If you heal yourself, you can potentially overdose. You can have drug effects. All this cool stuff is happening, but it wasn't obvious to the player just walking around what was going on under the hood. So we added this new app where you can track all that stuff.
So the health app is going to be the place to go when, for some reason, you're feeling ill and you just need that extra little bit of information of what do I need to do to take care of myself to get out of this situation.
Like exercising, eating healthy, organic, that sort of thing? Oh, no. It's just bullshit. Okay, got it.
So the contract manager has been in the game for a long time, and it's just grown kind of obvious that it's not doing all the things you need it to.
All the functionality is essentially the same internally, but it needed a visual polish, and also the user experience needed bringing up to date. So some new features like you can toggle between illegal missions, you can see what the rewards are going to be ahead of time.
I'm not crazy. You do see the same thing, right?
So no more randomly getting attacked by the police, hopefully. It's probably your fault, anyway.
Some big improvements coming to the Mobiglass. That's coming in 3.23, but one thing we didn't talk about yet was the star map. We've had the original star map in Star Citizen for a long time, so it was overdue for an update.
Don't get me wrong, like the old Skylink app, it did what it should, but I think it has grown a bit obsolete.
No, death to the old star map!
That's harsh.
The original one just showed the stars and planets and so on, but we wanted to expand on that.
So opening up the star map for the first time in 3.23, you're gonna realize that the star map is not just the star map anymore. It's the everything map.
It's now called Maps app rather than Star Map.
And why did we change it?
Because we now have the interior map, so this shows like your local area, as well as sort of zooming out and showing the star map.
So what is the interior map? It's a bird's eye view of the current environment.
Do we really need a map for this? It is 3 rooms repeated in all of the stations. Was this really a priority? I don't get it.
It's a really cool 3D map, so instead of just having a top-down view, this is showing you the actual level.
And it's presented as a fully schematic 3D view in which you can find every relevant point of interest, such as a shop, transit station, hospital, and the like.
You can get that for ships, for landing zones in 3.23. In future, we'll expand on that and add it to more areas.
And if you're not familiar with the location you just arrived to, or you're a new player and you're not familiar with any of them, actually having the spatial awareness of where the things that are relevant to you are is going to provide a giant step up in terms of the experience of the game in general.
So for example, you're gonna go here to buy noodles, and you'll realize that the noodle place has been there for literally years, and it still does not sell fucking noodles.
As it's fully 3D, you can move around, navigate between floors, zoom in and out, and so on,
Hot
as you'd
dogs,
expect.
yes. Hot
You'll
dogs.
see the local area where you're walking around, something you've never been able to do before. Essentially, you'll be able to navigate between all the different rooms and different important areas of the game.
It also offers a way to overlay your own data onto it that is specific to you. So, for example, the location of your mission objective.
We have markers already, man.
Custom markers.
You can also use it to plot a route to another location on the map. Drop a marker and navigate to it, so we'll see a line on the map that shows you where you can actually go and where the easiest way to get there.
So on that map, you'll be able to just click any room you want to go to. You can go between the different zones of the area, and you can place a little marker and route all the way there.
You need a marker for going from one room to the other. It is this big, man. The space stations are this big. Anyone really gets lost in space stations? You need to navigate between rooms? I mean, the marker thing is cool if we had like the real persistence that never actually came true. The idea of I could leave out. I remember hearing this years ago. In Star Citizen, you can leave a bottle of water under a rock in some moon and then come back and it will be there. No, it is not going to be there. It will despawn. It will just go away. All of that, I mean, it would make sense if I could do that, like leave like a cache of mine. You cannot do that. What use does this have?
So navigating is one of the primary use cases we want to make as robust as we can for 3.23. And so part of that involves providing a variety of fallback cases in order to help you best understand how to get somewhere. So for instance, if we ask the AI system and it can't return you a path via its nav links and nav meshes, we can ask the transit system. And if the transit system says there's a connection between the two zones, then that would help you route.
So at the time of recording, we're having issues loading all the different OCs that's in a big landing zone, for example. So we're looking into these solutions to make sure that you can track from one part to a fully different part of the area.
So Star Map. Star Map is vastly improved. The main thing we wanted to change was make it a nice user experience. So everything in there has been overhauled.
When you open your map, you'll first of all be confronted with your local area, so you'll see what room you're in and what's close to you. But you can also zoom out and you will see the universe open up in front of you as you zoom out.
From here we can see the entire verse. We can see all the planets,
space stations, Lagrange
four
points,
planets that we
all
have.
of that good stuff. You can then...
I could already see this in the existing Skyline map. People, what are you pretending to be crazy, or are you actually suffering from dementia? We can already see the 4 planets that we have and the moons. We can already see those. So are we gonna pretend that this is something that wasn't there already, but...
Click on any of those markers and you will be automatically panned and zoomed into them so you can see a little bit more detail about them. If you've zoomed in on a planet, for example, you can zoom in a little bit more and you can start to see the surface locations. So you can see towns, outposts.
you get all the information you need about them. We're adding this new system where you can see all the amenities that are available at that location.
So for outposts, landing zones and stations, there will be a section here for amenities, which will show you things like whether you can buy weapons here, whether you can buy ships here, whether there's a food court, whether there's a hospital or a clinic. All of these sorts of things you'll be able to see.
All of which you can have done. I mean, this is 8 minutes of presentation of 323 having damn menus. All right.
On those box outs, so you'll know which is the most appropriate location to go to. We showed in Citizen Con, obviously, that these display much better now, so you'll see them rotate with the map, and if they've gone behind the planet, they fade out, and if they're in front of your view, they're brighter, so you can see them more easily. So at the moment, if you zoom in, it will eventually get too big and you'll go through, but I am currently working on it so that it will zoom in to the surface and you'll never actually sort of clip through the planet.
Generally, we've tried to make it feel like a much more pleasant user experience, so there's things like items don't disappear off the back of the map anymore, everything's easy to read.
So as always, the star map is what you're going to want to use to route your way through the verse.
You can still set routes as you could in the previous version, but there is a little bit more feedback if there's a problem and you can't set a route, whether you don't have enough fuel or whether it's obstructed.
It's going to be so easy, it's going to be so intuitive for you to click the thing.
They're fucking with us. It already tells you if there's not enough fuel to get where you're going. You know what they do? This is why it pisses you off. Being gaslit like this, it already tells you if you don't have enough fuel to get there. So you're getting a facelift to the map. That should be 10 seconds of video, not 9, almost 10 minutes of this.
And there you get the button to say set route. It doesn't always just have the ability to set a route, because you can't always set a route. We will let you know when you can set a route.
There are a few things that are new for this new star map that have not been seen in the old star map.
Oh,
the primary
okay.
one there would be search. So we now have a list of all locations. So there'll be a little drop down in your top left corner. If you open that up, you can see the full list of locations ordered by what is closest to you. And then you can also type any location and it will appear. So you could type, for example, L1 and all of the Lagrange point ones would appear. So this allows you a lot more flexibility to finding what you're looking for when it's not as sort of, immediately right there when you're at the current view. So you can go all the way across the solar system to look at something completely different.
Star Citizen is a massive systemic game. We've got all this cool stuff going on. We've got multiple players doing things at different times. So we wanted to improve the overall interface from the player to that game world. So a big part of that is the new Mobiglass.
Finally, we've gone to this effort to refactor and do the whole Mobiglass hub from scratch. New maps, new applications, everything is using new tech, and we have a much more flexible and robust system for the Mobiglass under the hood.
When you're playing Star Citizen, it should be a smooth experience. You shouldn't be stuck trying to find whatever it is you need to find at the moment. We're helping you do that with the new apps, making it easier for you to find your missions or to even just find a place in the verse.
Now that we have that framework in place, then, it's kind of the sky's the limit in terms of what we can do with it and how many apps we can develop for it. And it's all using new tech, it's clean, it's the way we want it.
The other big new feature is obviously the Star map with the brand new interior map as well.
Star Citizen is a game about exploring. It is a game about spacefaring. And even so, even when you're not going around in space,
it's a game about what the fuck are you exploring? It's the same for planets that we've had for years. No, it's not about exploring. That's the point. It should be about exploring. It is not, because you people don't give us anything to explore. There's no exploring. It's 4 planets that we've had for years. We've seen it a million times. There's no way to explore anything. You've given us nothing to explore. You keep on doing this bullshit, gaslighting us into presenting something that's already there as if it's something new when it's not. You're just giving it a new skin to the Mobiglass, and it's 13 minutes presentation of this bullshit. I mean, I try to keep it super positive, but you cannot stop pointing out when you're being bullshit like this, when you're being gaslit like this. Help you explore what? What is it that we're exploring? There's nothing for us to explore here. This is not No Man's Sky exploration. This is not anywhere where you could go explore anything. It's the same place over and over. What the hell are you exploring in Star Citizen? Nothing. Stop lying, okay? I mean,
it's still about exploring.
Without the star map, it's really difficult to do that, right? This makes it so much easier to navigate around, to finding what you want and where it is and how to get there.
Overall, it helps the player interact with the world, get to where they want to, do what they want to do more easily and quickly.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Definitely.
Oh. Yeah. I agree. So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Mobiglass is finally converted over to building blocks in the new card system, meaning that Flash, as we know it, has pretty much gone to live on a farm upstate. That the conversion sets the stage for the creation of multiple new apps going forward, and that the new internal map and star map have combined to become simply the map app. Now, of course, remember that all things you see on ISC are a work in progress.
Oh,
and as
yeah.
any player of Evocati or developer alike may tell you, will continue to iterate between when you see it here and its upcoming release in Alpha 3.23. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you.
Yeah, process of game development. Okay. I wish that it was true that they were really developing a game, because in that case, after a few months, every 6 months, every year, we would see real new content being added. A new planet, new cities, new systems. We're not seeing any of that. The biggest patch ever has a different skin on the map. And hopefully, it will not glitch through as it already does. And this time, it will tell us if you have fuel to get to a place or not, which it already fucking does. You're not doing anything new. It already does that. You can already click and it throws you. It works like shit, like everything else does. But, and this will be what, better in how way exactly, being the exact same thing? You know, it's a little bit upsetting when they treat us as idiots. I don't think it's too much to ask to not be treated like complete fools. I think it's the least we deserve. You may think different. You may have your own opinion that you love being treated like an idiot. I personally don't, and I'm no shill. I have no need for that. I just do what I feel like doing, and I would love to have more positive things to point out. Like, I would love to see a fantastic a hunting game loop? Are we going to see that? Is it going to be like Red Dead Redemption in space, hunting different creatures, and you learning the habits of different creatures, and some of them getting closer to water, and some of them being spooked more easily? Or it's going to be a shitty AI, like it already is, with the hostiles that are just standing there staring at you? I will report on whatever is that we end up with, but I will not lie to myself, and I will not lie to you guys, okay? You have other channels for that. See you next time. Take care.